We will be recording each and every session so that folks who can't join us while we're broadcasting live can tune into our YouTube channel and watch the presentations later. The only exception to that is going to be our presentation from Dr. Greger, which is going to be happening at 6 o'clock tonight. And that's because it's a very special sneak preview of a webinar that he did live this summer. But it's currently behind a paywall on his website, and he's letting us show it to you all for free about a year before it goes on his own website from behind the paywall. So we're super lucky to have that. But part of the agreement was that we would not record that portion. So we will not be recording that portion. So if you have people who wanted to tune in for Dr. Greger's webinar, make sure and let them know to tune in to the live broadcast tonight at 6, because that will be the only time that they'll be able to see it. And following Dr. Greger's webinar, we will be raffling off a signed copy of his latest cookbook, How Not to Diet. So that is like super exciting. And we'll be doing raffles throughout the event. We have several amazing prizes. If you want to see the full schedule, find out more information about our presenters, see our sponsors, check out our vendors, or see all of the raffle prizes that we will be raffling off throughout the event, you can go to our event website, which is sfworldvegfest.org. That's sfworldvegfest.org. And you have two options to donate this year to participate in the raffle. You can either go to paypal.me/sfvegsociety, that's our PayPal account, or you have the option to donate via pledge right here through Zoom during our live event. And that's super fun because we'll be able to keep an eye on the tally as that's going on. Our goal is that the PayPal donations come directly to San Francisco Veg Society, but the ones that we're collecting through Pledge, which is the donation platform on Zoom, we'll be actually splitting those 5 ways. So San Francisco Veg Society, Goatlandia, Herd and Flock, Harvest Home, and Rancho Compasión. So our goal is to try to raise $5,000 so that we can give a lot of money to our participating sanctuaries to show them how much we love them, and sanctuaries are always in need of all the financial help they can get, as you know. And our very first presenter for World Veg Fest is going to be Herd and Flock, and I'm super excited to catch up with them because last time we heard from them, if you all tuned in for World Veg Fest last year, you probably saw that they had just suffered a fire. One of their barns was very badly damaged. They had to evacuate all of the residents. Luckily, no one was injured, thank goodness. But they did have to completely rebuild one of their barn's roofs, and a lot of the interior was damaged by the fire as well. And those repairs were just recently finished. So we're actually going to be able to see that during their live tour tonight. So I'm really excited to catch up with them and see how they're doing. And then following that, we will have the webinar from Dr. Greger, which is going to be super exciting. It's called How Much Meat Should We Eat? And all of us who are already on the vegan train know that that is 0, but he actually goes into a lot of recent nutritional studies, as he always says, so we don't have to, and provides us with all of the great information contained within about why it is so much better to adopt a whole foods plant-based diet rather than the standard American diet, which is actively killing us, as we know. And he's always an engaging speaker. So if you've seen Dr. Greger before, you know he is a lot of fun to listen to and a very engaging speaker. And as far as I wanted to let you all know a little bit about our raffle prizes before we get started. So as I mentioned, right after Dr. Greger's presentation, we'll be raffling off a signed copy of his latest cookbook, How Not to Diet. We also have a gift basket from Unisoy Jerky, which is really fun. We have a gift basket from Vegan Dreams. We have a dozen vegan cupcakes from Deliciously Vegan at SF. And Hillary will also be one of our participating chefs. So that's something to look forward to. She's always a lot of fun. And Charity Khan, who's going to be doing our family music and dance session on Saturday morning. She actually gave us 2 different sets of CDs to raffle off. So we have one that's kid friendly and one that's more for adults. And then we also have a Follow Your Heart gift basket. We have a lovely gift basket from Lydia's. We have a tumbler and t-shirt collection from In Defense of Animals. We have a digital download of Hannah Kaminsky's latest cookbook, the Vegan Student Cookbook. And then we have the grand prize, the grand raffle prize, which is a $100 gift certificate to Chef Raina. And Chef Raina will be with us at 3:00 on Sunday. She'll be our final presenter before our closing ceremony, which will be featuring Tim Brady from Cement Ship, and he is a vegan musician. So we've got vegan musicians, we've got educational speakers, we've got farm sanctuary tours, we've got vegan chefs, we've got so much in store for you. I'm so excited about this year's event. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope you all are as excited as I am about this. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions about the schedule, you want to find out more information about our presenters, and I do encourage everybody, please visit our presenters' websites. They're all linked to on our event website. You can find out lots more about our interesting presenters. Also on the website is our sponsors for this year. We have all of our vendors listed. Please do go support these amazing vegan businesses. They help us out, not just as the Veg Society, but as vegans. These are amazing vegan and veg friendly businesses. We love to support them. So please show them some love over on the vendor page. And you can also check out the full list of our raffle prizes for the event as well. And I wanted to give a special shout out to our sponsors this year. We have a lot of amazing sponsors this year. We have Miyoko's, everybody's favorite vegan creamery. We have Stanford Inn, which is the amazing vegan eco resort up in Mendocino. If you've never been, it is truly awesome. We really love them. Also VDog, who is the best, my absolute favorite vegan dog food on the market. They've been around a really long time. We work with them frequently. My dogs were VDog dogs their entire lives. They lived to be ripe old ages, and just love VDog. And Vegan Mentor is also another one of our sponsors. Linda Middlesworth will be one of our presenters as well. She's doing a talk about preventing diabetes and how you can do that through cooking and food and exercise. She'll be doing a little bit of a cooking demo as well. So it's kind of a joint thing that will be a lot of fun. And then we also have Rediaper, which is powered by Earth Baby. They're an environmentally responsible diaper service that's located here in the Bay Area. And
you're muted.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, everybody.
Actually, that was my fault, Christy. I was muting the other people and I accidentally.
Okay. And Linda, could you go ahead and turn off your camera, please? Thank you. During the event, if we could ask everybody to keep your cameras turned off and your microphones turned off, that would be great. The only exception to that is tomorrow morning during Charity Khan's music presentation. She wants all of us to turn our cameras on because we'll have a little group dance session, which will be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, please do go to the event website. I think that I said that while I was muted briefly, but that's sfworldvegfest.org. That'll have all of your information there. And do feel free to put any questions you have about the event itself in the chat. That's being monitored by my co-host today, who is Melinda Ham. She's our membership director. Thank you so much, Melinda. I appreciate it. And it's great to have you here with us tonight. And let me see if Melinda, do you see Megan or Katie in our oh, there they are. There's Herd and Flock. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get Herd and Flock lined up real quick. We'll be starting with them in about 7 minutes. So yes, if you have any questions for our presenters while the presentations are going on, please go ahead and drop those in the chat, and Melinda will help me make sure that we ask those for you at the end of our presentation. Hi, how are you? Yeah, so this should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to all of the events. And if at any point you want to check out and see what the full schedule is, find out any more information about the event, please go to sfworldvegfest.org. And we can get you sorted out. And don't forget about the raffle. We got tons of great prizes. You can donate via PayPal, paypal.me/sfvegsociety, or you can donate right through the pledge option via Zoom. So those are your two ways that you can donate. And Melinda will put information about that in the chat. And we'll be ready to get going with Herd and Flock here in just a moment. I'm going to mute myself real quick just so I can take care of something, and I will be right back with you. Hi, everybody. If you're just joining us, please make sure to turn off your cameras and your microphones during the presentations. That way we can hear our presenters and keep all the attention focused on them. And tonight we are kicking off our first opening night with Herd and Flock. We'll be with them shortly. We'll be doing a virtual tour with Herd and Flock, and then after the virtual tour, we'll have a few minutes to do some Q&As with them. And I know that we're all excited to see them again and catch up with them from last year. They were a big favorite with last year's presentation. So we're super excited to see you all again. Hi! And you all are muted, just so you know. There you go.
You just let me know when to go.
Okay, yeah, I figure we'll kick off here in just a couple minutes, and just wanted to remind everybody to go to the event website if they have any questions about the schedule or anything like that. It's sfworldvegfest.org, and you can donate either directly through Zoom, through the Pledge app in Zoom, or you can donate via PayPal at paypal.me/sfvegsociety, and that's how you can participate in our raffles. For every $5 donation, you get one virtual raffle ticket. All right, I am going to go ahead and step on out of here and let you all take it away over at Herd and Flock, and I will be here with you if you need any questions answered or anything. And then at the end, I'll turn my mic and camera back on, and we'll do a little Q&A session. All righty,
That
take it
sounds
away.
great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan. Holding the camera is Anna, and she just started working with us this month. I'm so glad that you could join us today to meet our fabulous pig friends. This is Tom. Hey, buddy. How are you? Tom has decided that it's still nap time, so patiently waiting for dinner. He did get up for a snack a moment ago, and we'll see if he wants a little treat. It's so tiny compared to his giant body. Tom is 2 years old. He and I met 2 years ago in October. So just next week, we are celebrating our actual 2nd year anniversary. Our first year was so big with a wildfire evacuation that our 2nd year has actually been pretty chill, and we're pretty glad about it. Tom came to us with as a trio, 2 of his brothers, Diego and Luther, who are actually right behind us, munching. This is Luther over here. And Luther and Tom and Diego came to us from a hoarding situation. A woman up in Oregon decided to help out 3 pigs, and before she knew it, she had almost 300 pigs and was a little bit out of her depth. And so a bunch of sanctuaries got together to rescue over 250 pigs from 1 acre. And so we'll take all the pigs out to one of their little pastures and give them a few treats. So you can see that they have about 3 acres now all to themselves, just 4 pigs. Now I say 4 pigs because while we have the 3 handsomest, the 2-year-old big boys, we also have Olivia, who's here. She's on the other side of the fence right now because she gets really excited when we do tours and when people are around. And even though she doesn't know that you're around exactly right now, she might be able to sense it. She has grown in the last 2 years from 100 pounds to just over 600. And that's with us being very managing of her food. We don't withhold food. We want to make sure she grows up to be big and strong, but not so big that her tiny little legs can't handle her giant body. That's probably going to happen anyway. But these kinds of pigs can live upwards of 20 years, 15 to 20 years, and we want them all to have really long lives. All 4 of these pigs joined us when they were 6 months old, and here they are almost 2 years old, and they are really some of the sweetest, most lovely pigs I've ever met. We're going to walk out past the mud wallow they've been working on the last 2 years, and we're going to see if we can get them to come out more into the sunlight where we can get a better view of them. Diego, Anna, if you could show Diego right now, he is doing what he does best. We have not had rain here in a very long time. I think the last time it rained here was last February. And so it's been raining the last few days, and they are tearing it up, which is really what they're very good at. That and belly rubs. Come on, Tom. Tom seems to be following us. Diego. We'll see if we can get a couple of these handsome boys and girls to come on out here. Oh, they heard the magic jingle. Especially Olivia. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, hi. Hi, good girl. Can I offer you something? Oh, hi, Luther. I'm going to spread a few of these on the ground. It might cause a little bit of loud noise as they share. They're not the best sharers, but we make sure. Looks like Tom is trying to follow Anna. but we try to make sure everybody gets their share. So here we have Diego. He's our tiny, oh, you're looking at Tom, but here we have Diego. He's our tiny tot. He's a gentle, sweet boy who's very shy. I'm going to spread these out a little bit more. And then we have, hi, Diego. And then we have Luther, who happens to be the head of our herd. And we know he's Luther. We know it's him because he has floppy ears. And Luther has the longest tusks. Because he's so young, those tusks haven't fully grown in, but he's definitely learning how to use them. So eventually they might get so long that we'll have to trim them. But for right now, he's a gentle leader. He is not super duper, well, okay. I say he's not super duper bossy, but he's a little bossy, and everybody respects Luther. We're gonna that I gave them earlier that is a little bit less activating. I wonder, does anybody have any questions about pigs? Hi. As you think about any questions you might have, I can tell you that all of these pigs it's possible that they could have been used for meat. Olivia over there, she's what we call a jumper. Is it glitching a little bit?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So Olivia is a jumper, and what that means is she was being transported possibly to a grower before slaughter. Oh gosh, we're getting all the excitement around here. They've been sleeping all afternoon. They get along really very well, but pigs are noisy. So what I wanted to say is that Olivia jumped off a transport truck. We don't know exactly where she was headed, but based on the notches in her ears and her docked tail, she was either going to be destined to be a breeder or possibly go in for slaughter. These pigs have already lived longer than they would have otherwise. At 2 years old, most farm pigs are slaughtered for consumption. So we already feel pretty lucky that they get to pull shenanigans with each other, fight over their favorite treats, mud bathe, sleep in, and we really make sure that they have all their nutritional and medical needs met. I think they're pretty special guys and gals. I just love them so much.
We did get a question in the chat.
Okay, I have a question.
They're asking, how do you keep their area clean of waste?
Oh, you know what? I have to say, when it comes to animal waste, pigs are my favorite because what they do is they never go to the bathroom where they eat or sleep. At least that's their preference. Given enough space, they will go to the furthest corner. And if you pan over to Diego, that's where he's going to the bathroom right now. Good boy. So what we do is every day we have chores, and part of that includes dragging around big old trash cans with a little rake and a bucket. I'll show you those when we go out the barn. And we basically poop scoop. It's just like you would with your dog, but perhaps bigger. And because there's 4 giant pigs here, more, a lot more. They eat a lot more than even your biggest dog. And because of that, they have a lot more poop. Oh my word. Hi, Tom. I think Luther said, "Excuse me, friend, this is mine." And Tom was like, "Cool, I'll be over here." Pretty sure that's what happened. Every time I hope that answers your question, what we do with the poop. But maybe I should go beyond that and say that we gather the poop and we put it in a dump trailer. And once a week, we take it to our neighbor's pasture where he uses it to fertilize his big pasture. And we feel really lucky that we get to do that it's composted for a while and then spread around his field. We would love to be self-contained around that chore. We would love to be able to do our own compost and be able to spread it around our own property. And that's something that we're looking at trying to accomplish, to be more self-sufficient over the next 5 years. Cool. Are there any other questions about our big pig friends before we go see the cows and goats? If you think of any, interrupt me anytime. I'm so happy to make this a conversation. All right, come with me. As we walk back through the red barn, I'm gonna lift up the shade cloth, which I think this is the last season we can use this shade cloth. And I'm gonna make sure that Anna doesn't get knocked out. But as we walk through the shade cloth, I'm gonna tell you about a leghorn chicken flock that lives also in this barn. Hi, Tommy. You okay? Did Luther tell you what to do? And now he's happily over here eating a little snack. Oh, pigs. So dramatic. So we rescued a dozen leghorns that were, as they say, depopulated from a battery cage egg farm. And even though that farming practice is no longer permitted in California, there are still some egg farms that use battery cages that have been grandfathered in. And for those of you that don't know about battery cages, they're wire cages that 2 or 3 birds live in for the first 3 years of their life. They're not big enough for the bird to spread their wings or really even turn around. And there's a conveyor belt usually on the front with the food and a conveyor belt on the back for the eggs. And so these girls were rescued from that facility over in Marin County. So right now, although we started with 12 birds up here, there is a high propensity for reproductive disease in these birds. That can be anything from cancer around the ovary or the oviduct to impaction, where the egg material, the yolk and other egg material gets stuck up in there, and that can become infected. And then if it's not noticed or treated, then the bird can die from septicemia or blood poisoning. So the 4 that are left up here, there's actually 4 down in the front yard right now because they have all exhibited some amount of reproductive disease, and we can keep a better, closer eye on them more regularly. So that's why they're down in the front yard. But the 4 that are up here are strong and healthy, and they're living their best chicken lives. But they go to bed very early. So let's walk in here and we'll see these cutie pies roosting up in the rafters. Oh, hi, you girls. There they are. Now, these 4 girls, we still keep a really good close eye on. We do chicken health checks every 6 to 8 weeks. And what that means is that when they're roosting, like they are now, we'll bring in a ladder and we'll climb up there and we'll grab them. Hopefully they don't know we're coming. And we bring them down, we'll weigh them, we'll check them from beak to vent and make sure, and also weigh them and make sure that there haven't been any dramatic changes. The challenging thing about chickens is that there is a pecking order, and it is real. When a chicken is not feeling well and the other chickens know about it, they are not nice to that non-feeling well chicken. I think because they're a prey animal, when there is a weak link, it's dangerous for the rest of the flock. And so while we try to respect and let them be their chicken selves, we also notice when someone is being picked on, and that's our first clue that there's something wrong. Or if they're looking a little droopy or they're not coming to eat when they want, we make sure that we check them several times throughout the day, every single day, to make sure that they are looking good and healthy. Fortunately, when we do start seeing signs of an issue with the chicken, it usually means it's pretty advanced. We've been lucky in that many of the chickens we take to the vet recover. And unfortunately, 4 of the original 12 have passed away, either from cancer or from impaction. And it's brutal, right? Because we're here, we try to give them the best lives that we can, and we also know where they come from. And so we hope that our and our compassion to them is enough to get them over the first 3 years of their lives. But it's not always. It's not always. If you have any questions about chickens, we're going to see a few more down when we go to the front yard crew. There's a bunch of different kinds of chickens, as well as some of these leghorn friends. But if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to type it in the chat, and then Anna can let me know.
We did get a question in the chat. Somebody mentioned that they remember seeing that other breeds of chicken, possibly called heirloom type.
Yeah, we have some heirloom type chickens that include like a barred rock, Americana. Those chickens actually only recently came to us. We had been focusing on factory farm chickens up until about, I guess, the end of July, when we were contacted by an inn, like a hotel out in Point Reyes. They had 28 chickens who were, and I mean severely infested with mites, little external parasites that were damaging their legs and their backsides. And they were unable to handle that issue. Plus, with COVID, the hotel was not doing well financially. And also, because of the drought, their natural spring dried up. So we took them in to treat them. And it took us about 8 weeks to get their mites parasite under control. And just last weekend, all but 3 were to forever, wonderful, forever loving homes. And we're so excited. We kept 3 back because 1 is blind. And so she's actually been sleeping in our house, but then she has a small little enclosure out in our front yard. And I'll introduce you to Garish when we get down there. She's an Americana chicken. We also have a brown leghorn. So these are white leghorns. There's a brown leghorn, really beautiful bird. We recently took her into the vet because she had an impacted stomach, wasn't able to drain. Happily, that passed and she's doing really well. But we've decided she's going to just live out her life here with us. And the third one is a barred rock, kind of looks like a zebra. So I've named them Marty after the movie, after the zebra in the movie Zootopia. And so Marty is now down in the front yard, just being her chicken self. There was a concern that maybe she might have some wheezing, maybe a problem with her lungs, but she seems really great. So we're just keeping an eye on her and looking out for any issues. So we will heirloom chickens down in the front yard, as well as some Oscarlorps and some red stars. And that's also where our roosters are. So we're gonna have to be really careful. Our roosters are super good at their jobs. All right, feel free to ask me any more questions about chickens if you like. Barring that, we will go out and see the cows and the goats.
How do you think that it play into
Laying and things like that, maybe?
the seasons that we get?
Oh,
Specific breeds that are acceptable to-
that's a great question. And I have absolutely no idea. What I do know is that leghorns are usually the kind of bird that you would find, at least locally, in battery cages. And being in a small cage is not the only thing they do for those birds. And I want you to imagine that the battery cage facilities sometimes can have upwards of 100,000 birds. It just makes me so sad. It's just like on rows of cages for them. But they also do some other techniques to help the production high. These birds will likely be forced to lay at least an egg every day. I'm going to address maybe the noise you might be hearing outside. We have some guinea fowl and I hear them coming our way. We'll look at them in a moment. Some other techniques that they might employ is leaving the lights on all the time, maintaining a constant temperature, or maybe making the temperature really cold to force them to molt. And when chickens molt, they lose all their feathers and grow back feathers. And once they're done doing that, they're ready to lay more. They can also starve the chickens for 7 days. And as soon as they start feeding the chickens, their egg production goes up. So I have a feeling that those techniques are contributing more to the reproductive disease than anything with genetics or breeding. Although we do breed way more. Perhaps chicken ancestors might lay an egg a month or maybe just an egg every few months, where now many of our chickens, especially the ones that we have on site from egg farms, pretty much lay every day. And that's, yeah, it's hard on their little bodies. Thanks for asking that question. I appreciate it. We're going to go out the front door. We're going to try to avoid the guinea fowl because we won't even be able to have a conversation. They're really noisy and they're like the little mobsters of all of our. The reason why we have guinea fowl on site is because we have a very healthy rattlesnake population here. The good news is rattlesnake season is just about done. And so those little honeys are going to sleep for about 6 months. And we'll be able to walk around here like we own the place. Not like they own the place, which they do. But rattlesnakes do not like guinea fowl. They're very noisy. And guinea fowl do not like snakes in general. So we have them here as a deterrent. And Mr. Boo and Sue are some really good protectors of the red barn. Okay, let's go out and see the cows and the goats. Oh, I knew they were going to finish all that oat hay. They love oat hay so much. So here we are. Here's Tiny Tot Tony Baloney. Now, before I go over there, let me just say Tony just came into his horns. All the cows are 2 years old. Tony will be 2 actually on November 12th. And Finn, who's drinking water right now. Oh, it's so cute. Get a close up of that because I love it when the cows drink water. Finn will be 2 next Sunday on Halloween. Finn, what do you want to be for Halloween? I'll ask him later when he's not drinking water. Oh, he's such a cutie. So the reason why I wanted to pause before I go over to see Tony is that like legit in the last 4 months, his horns have grown, I don't know, a solid 6 inches, and he's super excited about it. And so we have to be pretty careful with Tony. He's not going to try to like hurt us on purpose, but sometimes cows, especially when they have flies on them, they might whip their head around. Or if he gets really excited because I'm talking and he's like, why are you talking? He might get a little bit enthusiastic, let's say. So let's go over and say hi to Tony. And I'm going to ask Anna just to, be aware of her surroundings. Hi, Tony. How you doing, sweet boy? I'm wearing Tony's shirt. Does it look like him? I think it does. Hey, Tony, is this you? We're going to have to make a new one when his horns fully grow in. So at 2 years old, his horns are this long, but they keep growing for the next 3 years. Oh, here comes Rocky because he wants to see what Tony's eating. Hi. Rocky is our newest friend. Rocky, I don't want you to get in a corner. Why don't we walk out that way? Yeah. Hi, Rocky. Rocky is also super enthusiastic and curious. He wants to know all the things, and he and Tony both suffer from FOMO a little bit, fear of missing out. So they're always trying to figure out what's happening. Hi, good boy. But Rocky, Rocky is a very sweet boy, even if sometimes he gets a little rambunctious. We just have to, we're both going to back up because Tony's coming out, wants to play a little bit. Hi, thanks, Tony. We have a healthy respect for their size and their energy level. And we try really hard to be close so that they're used to people, but also like respect their space, right? We want to respect their space. And we want them to be cows. We want them to play with cows as if they're cows because they are cows. But we also want to make sure that when they're around humans, that they're not exhibiting behaviors that are dangerous. We are just starting to have live tours on site. We had our first one last weekend, and we actually had the cows in this area, and our guests stayed on the other side of the fence. But because we had apples and bananas, those cows came right over, and they love to be pet. Huh, Tony? So what can I tell you about Tony really quickly? Tony was rescued from a Craigslist ad. Somebody had posted about Tony. He was very ill. I think somebody bought him for $5 at auction. He was born in a dairy. Oh, you just eat, good buddy. I don't have anything for you. Um, he was rescued, but the people who bought him for $5 just wanted like a baby cow. Like it would be really fun, but they didn't really know how to take care of him. And then some other people interceded to try to help. But ultimately, Melissa Nygaard and Catherine Nicole from Tommy's transport team came. Okay, here come the guineas. They're right behind you, Anna. Because they like they like to be the star of the show. So Tony was rushed and spent to the hospital at UC Davis by Melissa and Catherine, where he spent a week or two recovering from pneumonia. He was bottle fed for several months at Only Sunshine Sanctuary in near Sacramento. And when he was down to 2 bottles a day, he came to live with us. And at the same time that Tony came to live with us, his 2 herd mates, Han and Finn. Oh, is Finn going to try to step up on that? Please don't do that. That's for the goats. That's fun for the goats. Finn and Han came to live with us. Now, Finn and Han came down from Oregon, where they were rescued also from a dairy. Han over here, the black cow, his official name is Han Solo. And Han Solo was not able to stand for the first month of his life. He had retracted tendons, and a sanctuary owner gave him physical therapy so that he could stand on his own. And now he's the boss of this herd. We recently found out he's about 2,000 pounds. So we also give him plenty of space and respect. My favorite time is when he's distracted and I can brush him. And every morning I say good morning and he smells my coffee breath. And we have like a nice little moment, which is sweet. And here comes Rocky again to check out Anna, who I'm just going to say maybe back up. Hi, cutie. Hi. I'll tell you about Finn in just a moment because he has a really interesting story. But Rocky was rescued with 2 others, and they were taking care of him in they were living in Dixon, where the landowner decided he didn't want those 3 cows on his land anymore. And so it got to the point where the guardians didn't have anywhere for them to go, and the landowner was threatening to send them to slaughter. And so they actually, all 3 of them came here as fosters. And they found a new place in Martinez where they were going to spend 10 months and then move to Florida. But what ended up happening is after a month, that landowner decided he didn't want the cows there anymore either. The main issue is that they wanted the cows there to eat the grass down. And once that was done, then the landowner was done. And so it became really clear that Rocky's guardian didn't have the resources and stability to take care of the cows on their own. And so they agreed to surrender Rocky to us because we knew Rocky and he had a couple of medical issues that we could take care of. And they surrendered the other 2 cows to Funky Chicken, who is another sanctuary here in Vacaville. And so Mama Lola and Teddy are there, and Rocky is here with his new brothers. So, so that's the story of Rocky, and he's been trying to figure out his place in the herd. And anytime you have any questions about the cows, please feel free to ask. Anna will interrupt me. And our last cow for now, maybe we'll get some more. Our last cow for now here is Finn. And Finn is a British white cow, also born at a dairy. What's interesting about Finn is that he was found on the road, down the road from a bunch of dairies, with a chain around his neck and a piece of rotted wood hanging off the chain. And so I think we can suppose that he was in a veal crate. He was born in the dairy and he's a boy, so they don't like that very much. Hi, sweet boy. Yeah. And now he's going to see what Anna has. And so Finn was found by somebody with a van and who rescued him and took him to the same sanctuary where Han was. And they specialize in bottle babies. And that was where Finn learned how to poop in a bucket, a skill that sadly he does not have anymore. It would certainly make picking up the cow poop much easier. Every day we go around to this pasture, the larger center pasture there, and another pasture they have access to. We basically scoop the poop. And the reason why we do that is for their health and safety. What's important is that we don't want a lot of flies and we want to keep any parasite load down low so that their immune systems can fight that. And like I said earlier, all that poop then goes to our neighbors. Isn't that nice? Does anybody have any questions about the cows? We're going to walk over and see the goats, and maybe we'll go into the goat clubhouse where Rocky won't have access to us because he really likes this camera. We built this clubhouse last year for some chickens, but unfortunately they didn't really use it. So we actually switched it over when the cows and the goats began to live together. We actually switched it to the goat clubhouse. The cows love to eat what the goats have. And so this is a way for them to be able to have their own food without the cows eating it all and pooping and peeing all over it. Because unlike pigs, chickens, cows, and goats pretty much go whenever the mood strikes them. They could be standing on their feeder, or we could put some watermelon down and they back over it and poop on it. You know, I mean, they could be walking to the other side. So we make sure that the cows can't do that to the goats. This here is Teddy. He's got some pretty crazy horns. Look at that. Oh, he's showing you. Teddy is a head of our small goat herd. And the reason why his horns look kind of funny and why we have to trim them is because he was disbudded as a young guy. And what that means is that his horns were removed or burned off. Their horns are attached to their skull. But sometimes the disbudding does take. And so what happens is when they grow back wonky. And so this really short one actually grows straight back into his skull. And this one grows all the way around his ear and heads right for his eye. Isn't that right? I know. Right. Oh boy. Now, you see how sweet he is with me right now? This is how he always is with people, unless you stop petting him and then he butts you. But this is how he is with people. He just loves being adored. But he's not quite like this with the goats. With the goats, he is a leader and commander, and he's not like Luther, a gentle giant. He's pretty forceful. So we don't intercede unless it seems really dangerous. But we do keep an eye on it because we want everyone to feel safe and secure. But it's super important for goats to know where they are. They are goats, and we have to let them be goats. I'm going to have Anna turn around and show you Honey. Honey came to us from a dairy. She had, do we say litters? Litters of goats. And during her last litter, her mammary glands or her teats became detached. And so they decided not to breed her anymore. And so we negotiated her release when we got Snowflake. Now, some of you who know us know Snowflake. This is Snowflake's mom. And originally they weren't going to let Honey go. They actually wanted to find Snowflake a new home, but so we were able to get them to agree to let Honey go. Now Snowflake is over there eating some pine bark with her coat on. Snowflake is currently suffering from pneumonia. She gets a couple of hours out when it's not raining, when the sun is out. In fact, when we're done with this session, we're going to actually take her back inside a temperature controlled room. So Snowflake has a cleft palate. And what that means is that most of the roof of her mouth is open. So she ends up aspirating her food. She currently has a mass of food, mainly in her left lung, but some also in her right lung. And her left lung, we just found out, has collapsed. So what does this mean for her? This means that she will continue to come down with pneumonia. She basically has chronic persistent pneumonia because she's got stuff in her lungs. But she will continue to spike, and we'll have to address that with antibiotics and anti-inflammatories. She was just in the hospital for 2 nights, and we caught it early enough that she's responding really well to antibiotics. So she's definitely going to recover from this bout. But the vets up there warn us that this will continue to happen and happen with more frequency. The last time she had pneumonia, where she had to be hospitalized, was last December. Most goats have a lot of trouble eating and sucking milk from their mamas. And so most don't actually survive past 2 years old. But Snowflake is coming up on her 4th birthday, and we are committed to giving her an enriching, wonderful, calm, safe life. And we're going to do our absolute best to meet all of her medical needs. She's wearing this coat, which she hates, but when she is healthy and not wearing the coat, she is second in. She might be, physically the weakest, but I think it makes her feel in her mind the strongest. I wonder what she'd be like if she didn't have this medical condition, because she will, once she gets out of this coat and once she's really healthy, she's going to exert her dominance again and headbutt with everybody and remind them that she is indeed the boss. I love you, Snowflake. Like Teddy, she is also our super greeter sanctuary. So whenever anybody comes up, she's always like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And so we're really glad she could actually come outside today and be with the herd. Oh, she's so weird and fun. Okay, we're gonna, if you have any questions about the goats, please let me know. As we walk by the red barn, we're gonna say hi to Biscuit, Oreo, and Meg. Actually, Meg is looking at Anna right now. She says, "Did you forget about me?" So Meg and Teddy, the big boss goat with the funny horns, came at the same, and they have 2 kids with us. There's Oreo right behind, and Biscuit, who is up on the feeder. Look at those cows. They're trying to come over and steal the spotlight again. And I don't blame them. So Teddy and Meg are the parents of Oreo, and over here Biscuit. You're gonna love seeing him. He loves standing up on this feeder eating, and he's got hay all over his face. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's like, "Don't touch me." They are just now about 1.5 years old. They were born on Valentine's Day 2 Februarys ago, and so they aren't super friendly yet, but we just let them be who they are. We don't try to force any interaction with them unless we have to. The week that they came here, they had a parasite, just like the chickens that we recently treated. And so we actually had to tackle them or hold them gently in our arms. But because they're kids, we had to like chase them all around the stall. And we had to administer some medicine. And so that did not set up a lot of trust in our relationship. So we're still working on that. They have space to be who they are. And now they let us pet them from time to time. All these goats are Nigerian dwarf goats, so they're all really pretty small. They are all full size right now, so none of them are babies, and they won't ever get any bigger than this. So as we walk down to the front yard, I'll talk a little bit about what happened last year when we first presented for SF Veg Society, we had just returned from a month evacuation because of a wildfire. And that during that wildfire, many of our fences burned down. And so all of these are all new fences internally. And then we have some fences up the hill there to extend the pig area, as well as this west pasture. We, still a year later, we're still working on that stuff, but I'm very happy to report that our big barn, which is a 10-stall horse barn, was finally repaired last September. And I'm so happy because that means the goats can move back up there. They can get a little break from their very exuberant leader, Teddy. Okay, we're gonna walk right into a guinea fowl, which you may not be able to hear me for a minute. Well, let's just see. I'll watch your head. Oh, there's Cluck Norris. Hi, Sean. Hi, Cluck. Thank you for that beautiful greeting. So we're gonna walk through this pen and we're gonna meet Sean. He's a potbelly pig that we are fostering from the Martinez Animal Shelter, Contra Costa Animal Services. Sean he's still pretty shy. I don't know if he'll let me pet him or not, but he was at the shelter for 3 weeks after being found on the streets of Richmond. And for us, this is the first potbelly pig I've ever met. And he is a sweet dude. He is a sweet, sweet man. He now has a forever home in Arizona, and he'll be going there in just a couple of weeks, where he's going to have big friends. Oh, yeah, that's. We're going to walk towards Mr. Boo, who is one of our guinea fowl. And we just walked through a place where we don't have very solid Wi-Fi signal, so sorry if it's glitching. And I appreciate your patience. Oh, here's Marty, one of our heritage breed chickens that just came from Point Reyes, just on the other side. Hey girl, what's up? And she's walking around this small little enclosure for Goldie. Now, Goldie came to us last January with a very bad foot situation. She had a bumble that was like bigger than a jelly bean hanging off her foot. And we took her to the vet, we got that removed, and we discovered that all of her toes had basically been, I don't know, contorted for some reason, whether they were broken and then just refused. We're not exactly sure what happened to her feet, but I'm happy to report that she's finally off antibiotics and also bumble free. She often stands on one foot because the infection from her bumble foot, which is basically a corn. If you've ever had a corn in your foot, chickens get those too on their soft little feet, and then it gets infected. And the infection from that giant bumble actually caused bone loss in one of her feet. And so we have on order now a wheelchair. And pretty soon she's going to be wheeling herself all over the place, kicking up dirt wherever she goes. That will help her take a little bit of pressure off her feet and hopefully remove any further trauma to her feet. She is one of the most friendliest, trusting chickens I've ever met, especially compared to the Leghorns, who are so like, don't get near me, don't even look at me. Goldie she lets us pick her up all the time. We wash her feet almost once a week, soak her feet to make sure they're clean and happy. And she's super trusting, really sweet. Goldie was rescued from a pasture-raised chicken egg farm locally, and they were depopulating. And during that rescue, 300 chickens were saved. Unfortunately, the rest were sent for slaughter, but she and a bunch of her friends, instead of being adopted out with the rest of the 300 that went through here, we kept 7 back who had some medical issues, and Goldie is one of those. We can see a couple of our other birds who are in the yard that Sean occupies. And you'll notice that we have some Australorps. The sun is not shining right now, so you can't see the beautiful green iridescence of their feathers very well. But in the sunshine, they look like they are going out on the town. They are some gorgeous babies. Also pecking around is a tiny little rooster named Mr. Momo. He loves to kick. And by that, I mean, as you're walking away, he will run and sprint after you and hurl his body at your shins because he can't, he can't get much higher. Actually, he flies pretty well. He is one of our fierce front yard protectors, and he could run around the opening. There's an opening near here. He could run around and get us, but he's choosing not to, which is cool with me. Hi. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Aw. Oh, I do have some treats for you. Oh, here's one thing that this is very endearing about Sean. He is a gentle treat taker. So we have these little cookies, which are for potbelly pigs. We also give them to our regular pigs. And he is just he like takes it with his lips. He's so sweet. Hi, you good boy. Today we had the vet out for Sean because he's getting ready to travel and he's going to Arizona. He needed a microchip. And so poor guy, we've been building all this love and trust, and I had to hold him steady while he got his microchip implanted. It was over in about 30 seconds, but I tell you, he raised a fuss. Huh. Hi, I love you. Let me pet you. Does anybody have any questions about chickens or about what we're doing here? As you think about it, I can say that we have about 50 permanent residents of Herd and Flock and a very robust foster program. In the last year and a half, I'm really proud to say that we've been able to save and assist almost 600 animals. A lot of chickens, but also goats, geese, turkeys, goldfish, who we haven't met yet. Hi, oh, I love you. I should be careful. He might think my lips are a treat. Hi, you want one more? Okay. Okay. So we've been able to help a lot of animals because we keep one of our barns empty and clean and disinfected so that when there is a big rescue, we can take in chickens for a couple of weeks and do health checks and make sure that they're good to go to their forever homes. And so I feel like that is something that we tried once and that just seems to be the need we are fulfilling.
Hey, Megan, it's Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Which one of those barns was the one that was affected by the fire last year?
It was a barn up where we were talking to Snowflake. It was right behind Snowflake. So it was a big 10-stall steel horse barn that was affected. And the fire actually came down around our property on 3 sides, and it followed the ridge all the way around. We're kind of like in a basin. So with the sanctuaries in the flat part, and then when the fire came down, it hit 2 trees that we just hadn't gotten to trimming yet off the barn. And so it burned down through the roof, and we were storing some hay in there. And then that's why it became unusable. But it was structurally sound, which was great. So we just had to
great. The repairs really, I mean, you can't even tell.
Oh yeah, no, it's really wonderful. I'm gonna do a big post about that next week when we celebrate our 2-year doing some awesome, heartbreaking, but also really rewarding work. But I'm gonna miss you when you go.
And where can people do you sell those awesome t-shirts on your website?
Oh yes, so we sell them through Bonfire. I have to look and see if the link is on our website. We always talk about it on our social media, on Facebook and Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's also on our website. We actually recently won a grant to get a new website. There's a group that does this for nonprofits. And so we have a new website, which is so thrilling. And so I will double check to make sure those t-shirts are on. We have a Tony shirt, a Snowflake shirt, and an Olivia shirt. Hi.
Oh, those are fantastic. I just love those. And for people who are wanting to help out Herd and Flock, you can donate to them directly via their website, which is Herd and Flock. Actually, Melinda, I
It's
think
Herd and
that
Flock it's Herd and Flock Animal Sanctuary.org. And we have a donate button there, of course. And we like donations of all kinds. We have an Amazon wish list. We have volunteer opportunities. And you know what? If you are in the area and you want to come by, why don't you email us? If we're free, we're happy to see you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's so nice to see everybody doing so well and everybody looks so happy and healthy. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to introduce us to all of your residents. They're just
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
gorgeous.
Thanks.
And we always love working with you, and I hope we get to check in with you again soon in the new year and see how everything's going. And it was just great to see you, Megan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Does anybody
you
have
have-
any final questions for Megan? Yeah, if you have any final questions, now's the time to ask them. And that handsome little guy, he's going to, where is he going to in Arizona?
He's going to another sanctuary that specializes in potbelly pigs and goats. While they adopt out a lot of goats and potbelly pigs, they've decided they'd like to offer Sean a permanent home. And I'm really excited because they have a bunch of permanent potbelly residents, and I think he's going to be really, really loved and cared for there. And it's called ACTS, ACTS, capital stands for something, of kindness. Animal something. Act of kindness.
Oh, that is so cool. And I highly recommend everybody follow Herd and Flock on their social media. You have such a great social media presence on Instagram and on Facebook. It's always so fun to check in with all the residents. And thank you so much for all of the wonderful work you do for our animal friends.
And thank you too. So glad to be a part of this movement.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us for World Veg Fest. We'll check in with you soon, Megan. Thank you.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye. And for those of you who are just tuning in with us, we are doing raffle drawings in between each of our presentations. I'm just about to do a raffle drawing now before our Dr. Greger webinar. And you'll want to, if your friends were wanting to tune in for the Dr. Greger webinar, I highly recommend watching it live because we will not be recording that one. All of our other presentations will be recorded and then put up on our YouTube channel. But the Dr. Greger presentation is actually a recorded webinar. He did it live this summer, and it's currently existing behind a paywall on their website. So we're getting a sneak peek before it goes out to the world on their website, which won't be until next year from behind the paywall. So we're really grateful for this opportunity. And after his presentation, after the recorded webinar, which is 2 hours long, just heads up, you'll want to go and run to the bathroom after this raffle. So make sure and go pee real quick because it is 2 hours. We'll be raffling off a signed copy of his latest cookbook, How Not to Diet. So definitely stick around for that. And that will be starting at 6. If you do want to participate in the raffles, you can do it in 2 ways. You can either donate through the Zoom app, which if you scroll up, you'll see that Melinda put that information and I put that information in the chat. So you can either donate through the Zoom, through the Pledge app in Zoom, or you can do it to our PayPal account, which is paypal.me/SF Veg Society. So those are your 2 options. For every $5 you donate, you get 1 virtual raffle ticket. So for example, if you donate $25, then you get 5 raffle tickets and so on and so forth. So we've already had a lot of great donations come in. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate that. And our first raffle item is going to be a collection of tumblers from In Defense of Animals, along with a Go Vegan and No One Gets Hurt t-shirt. And whoever wins that, I will get in touch with you and I will get your t-shirt size, and then we will get that prize package sent off to you as soon as possible. If I remember correctly, it's like, yes, it's 3 different tumblers plus a t-shirt. So it's a really good prize package, and it's from our friends at In Defense of Animals. Thank you so much, In Defense of Animals, for donating that awesome prize. And one of our sponsors is Stanford Inn, and I'm using my Stanford Inn tote as our little raffle tumbler. So let me reach in and get the first winner. All right. Pat Huey, the IDA prize is coming to you, my friend. I will get in touch with you to figure out what size t-shirt you need, and we can get that out to you early next week. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Megan and the rest of the team over at Herd and Flock. We really appreciate you guys. We love the work that you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for a few minutes so everybody can get a snack. Make sure and get yourself some water, do some stretching, go to the bathroom if you need to. And we will be back at 6 sharp for Dr. Greger's presentation. Thanks so much for joining us.